wanna hide something from black folks, they say you can put it in a book. I don't believe that, 'cause I done read 4 libraries worth of books.
So today's video is kind of how I came about loving to read. It's been since a kid. I always remember my grandma reading to me. I've always loved a good story. And my earliest memory is my grandma reading, this might be controversial, but reading the Bible to me, right? And even to this day, I still read the Bible, because of the progression I'm on and just trying to do better. So the Bible, I think, still offers, even just from a reading perspective, if you don't believe, great stories, right? So that kind of fostered my first love of reading. And then as a child, on up in age a little bit, maybe around elementary, Goosebumps books had me in a chokehold. All the Goosebumps, especially the ones where you flip through and find your own ending, had me in a chokehold. And Animorphs, stuff like that. Then I went through this cool phase. I was in like the middle school. I kind of got, grew up, around, bad things and the streets. And I was on this tip where I was a tough guy, and I ain't reading. I ain't trying to be smart. I ain't trying to be educated. I want to do what everybody else doing. And, school and stuff wasn't cool to me no more. So kind of went through that little dry patch all the way up to like maybe my junior year in high school. Had this great teacher that introduced me to Toni Morrison's novels. And so Beloved was kind of like my introduction into like reading again. And Beloved, fantastic book. You should read it. You gotta know context. You gotta know Toni Morrison's writing. But fantastic lady. Wish I could have met her before she passed. Then I get to college. And I get a job at a library, right? 2 libraries, actually. I work in 2 jobs. And one is at a law library and one is at a city library. And just kind of grew that love for reading again. So I'm reading. And my teacher, I had a professor that taught Shakespeare, and I never thought I liked Shakespeare, but he introduced it and taught it in a way that was, that made me like it. So I'm reading stuff like The Tempest and Romeo and Juliet with different eyes, and Macbeth and Othello, Hamlet. Like, I started to see those stories different. Now, I don't read plays like that a lot, but that kind of made me start loving to read again. Started working at the library, and I started reading Walter Mosley, and Walter Mosley became one of my favorites instantly. Walter Mosley, the book I read by him was The Tempest Tales, and fantastic book, kind of about redemption and doing it over again. Been a while since I read this, so I need to read it again, but Walter Mosley, fantastic writer. Hate to say I haven't read Devil in a Blue Dress, but I'm gonna get to it. From there, and these last 2 people, man, they are probably, they're probably biased for me because I'm from Mississippi, and I love Mississippians and want us to win. So Jesmyn Ward and Keith Layman, I say anything they write is just amazing. For me, Jesmyn Me and we read. Pain in that was very deep and very connecting. And and Keith's heavy. Just go read it. is Man, I can relate to it even more because he grew up in the same city I did, and just how we relate to heavy being heavier men in weight, right? And also heavier kids, heavier boys, the same, and also heavy as the weight that of the things we go through. Amazing memoir. And the other is How to Slowly Kill Yourself and Others in America. He talks about this idea of being born on parole, and there's all these great writer. Um, it could be, I'm all over the place because I always love to learn, and I have so many interests, and so it's all about you finding what suits you. If you read YA, that's cool all day. That's what you want to read. If you read urban, that's what you want to read. I never am one of those people like, why you reading that author? Why you read? Hey, if you're a Stephen King all day type, hey, that, it's just good to dive into something and read. So, but for me, hey, I'm into the independent authors. I'm into the well-established authors. I'm into memoirs. I'm into fiction, nonfiction. So if it captures me, I'm just going to read it. So, and it can be a love story. It can be a hate story. It could be, I remember at one point in time, Lord of the Rings was just kind of my thing, right? So just different things. I think now I'm into my, celebrating my Black authors and stories that I relate to. But I still, I'm still, reading a lot of things. And I'm coming into this thing where, you come into a lot of spaces where I don't see people that look like me, or me and my wife go to the bookstore, and I'm one of the only people that look like me in that bookstore. So, but I know we out here and I know we exist, and we have stuff to say too. So, yeah, it's kind of just my little spiel. Like I said, shout out to all the other men that read. You know, hey, we around, we here.
Don't miss this jet ho. Don't miss this jet ho.